Imagine planning a simple beach vacation with your family, the sun shining, waves crashing, children laughing, when suddenly everything turns dark. What was supposed to be a peaceful day by the ocean turns into a nightmare when racist cops surround a black family, accusing them of things they didn't do. But what happens next will shock you to your core. Before we dive in, tell me, where in the world are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments. And if you love powerful stories like this one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss the next jaw-dropping twist. Now, let's get into today's story. Beach trip turns ugly when racist cops harass black family, but the father's hidden badge stuns all. Morning wind carried salt as the Johnsons stepped onto Sunbreaker Beach. David hauled the umbrella, Amara gripped the cooler, and their kids Maya and Jordan chased gulls through warm sand. A red flag fluttered on the lifeguard tower. It felt good to breathe after months of alarms and late nights. David screwed the anchor deep and raised the umbrella. Amara spread a sunburst blanket and lined up sunscreen, towels, and water. Arms, faces, shoulders, she told the kids. Jordan smeared lotion and laughed at the white streaks. David rubbed them smooth. Today we rest. Waves, snacks, naps. Deal. Jordan nodded. The beach woke around them. A frisbee arced over a volleyball net. Maya filmed Amara laughing. Caption? She asked. Freedom, Amara said. David passed water to Amara and scanned the scene. ATVs waited near the boardwalk. He reminded himself to relax, to listen to his family and the sea instead of old habits. A sharp whistle cut the music. Two officers walked down the ramp, boots thumping, then sinking into sand. One tall, square-jawed, mirrored sunglasses. The other shorter, hair tight, radio on her shoulder. They moved with steady focus. Folks, the tall officer told a couple with a terrier. No pets below the flags. The couple left. The mirrored lenses paused like searchlights. David felt Amara glance at him and smiled for the kids. Sandcastle. Jordan ran to the wet edge. They stopped at the umbrella. The tall one tipped his chin. Morning. Beach permits? Amara frowned. Permits. Cooler check, the woman added. Complaints about glass and alcohol. Mind if we look? David kept calm. We support safety, officer. Why our spot? Routine sweep, the man said. He did not gesture toward other families, his lenses fixed on David. Amara opened the cooler. Water, juice, fruit, foil-wrapped sandwiches, chips, no glass. The woman nodded. Looks fine. The man pointed at Maya's tote. Bag. It's my book and towel, Maya said. It's okay, David said. Maya opened the tote. Paperback, sunscreen, charger, journal. The man stared a beat too long, then lifted his chin at the umbrella base. You install that yourself? Yes, David said. Those pop loose, he said. Hit people. He stepped closer. IDs. Amara's face pinched. For what? Safety survey, the woman said. Names and where you're visiting from. Nearby talk quieted. A volleyball player missed a set. Jordan leaned into Amara. David kept his tone measured. Officer, we'll cooperate. Please explain the legal basis for demanding identification on a public beach with no violation observed. The man's jaw flexed. You match a description. What description? Amara asked. 4 under a blue umbrella near Tower 2. Possible open container. Suspicious behavior at a cooler. We don't have alcohol, Amara said. You saw. Descriptions can be wrong, the woman said. We can clear it up quickly. David lifted both hands. I'm taking out my wallet. He moved slowly, then presented his license. The man leaned close to read. You too, he told Amara. She handed over her ID. Maya offered a school card. The woman returned Maya's. The man kept the others and keyed his radio. Dispatch, run 2. Wind tugged the blanket's corners. A thin wave filled Jordan's moat and slumped the towers. Daddy, did we break a rule? He whispered. David crouched. No. Sometimes people get things wrong. We stay calm while they fix it. Static cracked. No wants, no warrants, a voice said. The man grunted. Step back from the cooler, he ordered. Hands visible. Sir, you already looked, Amara said. Compliance, he answered. He opened the lid, moved cans, lifted foil, checked under ice packs, then kicked it closed. Melt water flecked his pants. A cheer rose at the volleyball court. The woman shifted. Maybe we move on, Hale, she said, using his name. After I'm satisfied, he said. He turned to David. You from here? Visiting, David said. A week. Hale's mouth curved without warmth. Long drive to ignore posted rules. We've followed every rule, Amara said. Hale scanned the shoreline as if waiting for backup only he expected. Sun flashed on his lenses. A gull wheeled overhead. David kept his palms open, body angled to shelter his family. The lifeguard climbed down and jogged over, buoy sling bouncing. "Officers," he said, slightly winded. "I've been watching. They've caused no problems." The glass complaint came from south near the jetty. Red tent. Hale did not look at him. "Appreciate it," he said flatly. "We'll decide what's fine." The woman grimaced. "Hale," shouting spike near the court. Two teenagers squared off, friends crowding. The lifeguard glanced that way. "I need to handle that," he said, already moving. The woman touched her radio. "I'll assist," she told Hale. He raised a hand. "Stay." Amara straightened. "Our children are scared. Please return our IDs." Hale studied David's face as if hunting a flinch. "Something about you," he said quietly. "Can't place it." David breathed evenly. Waves slid forward, slid back, writing lines around Jordan's ankles and wiping them clean. Maya lifted her phone and started recording, grip steady, chin up. The air changed as nearby umbrellas turned, and eyes gathered. A tan pickup rolled to a stop at the boardwalk, another unit. Hale's shoulders loosened a notch. He pointed at the cooler again. "Open it once more." "We've complied," David said. He kept his hands visible. "We will continue to comply within the law." Hale smiled without mirth. "Good. Then stand up, step away from the umbrella." Jordan's voice wobbled. "Mom, I'm here," Amara said, arms around him, eyes on Hale. The woman officer shifted again. "Hale, the call was the jetty. We should respond." Hale ignored her and tapped his radio twice. Foam hissed. Somewhere a child squealed at the cold and laughed. Shade cooled the family, though the air felt thin. Many people nearby held their breath. Hale took one more step, close enough for David to see sand stuck to the hinge of those mirrored frames. The beach, the sky, his family, all doubled in that glass. He angled his head as if smelling a secret, and changed his stance like someone choosing a door. Hale's smile thinned. He returned Amara's license but kept David's. "Step here," he said, pointing beside the umbrella stake. "Feet apart." David moved as directed, steady and calm. He glanced at Amara. She nodded. Maya lifted her phone, recording quietly. A tan pickup stopped. Another officer climbed out, vest bulky, neck red. He walked toward Hale. "You called?" he asked, scanning the cooler like a trap might spring. "Running compliance," Hale said. He circled David, patting pockets with flat palms. "Any sharp objects?" "Keys," David said. "Front pocket. Nothing else." The woman officer's radio crackled. "Glass near jetty. Crowd forming. Handle it, Ruiz," Hale said. Wind tugged the umbrella. The stake held, but the canvas snapped. Jordan flinched. Amara reached to steady the pole. "Leave it," Hale snapped. Hands visible. The shade clanged against metal. The lifeguard jogged from the volleyball court. "Teens settled," he said. "Rip building by the pier. I need room to get boards down." "We're occupied," Hale answered. He ran a palm along David's waistband. "Turn around." David complied. A vendor paused his cart, bell dangling. "Sir," Amara said evenly, "our son is scared. Please finish and return my husband's ID." Hale studied the plastic as if the ink might shift. "Visiting from D.C., he said. "Friends there?" "Many people live in D.C., David replied. Hale's jaw flexed. "Turn back." He flicked his chin at the newcomer. "Krasny, observe." Ruiz looked from water to family. "I'm going," she told Hale. He waved her off. Ruiz hustled toward the pier. The lifeguard followed, dragging a rescue board. Ice clinked. Gulls keened. Canvas slapped. Hale lifted the cooler lid again. "Sure there's no glass?" He rifled napkins and foil. The hinge squeaked. Jordan jumped. "That's enough," Amara said, drawing a line. Hale set the lid down with exaggerated care. "Ma'am, watch your attitude." A couple under a yellow umbrella stood. "Officer," the man said, "they haven't bothered anyone." "You have business with this stop?" Hale asked, hand on his belt. "Just a citizen," the man said. "Then sit," Hale said. The man sat, jaw tight. Krasny shifted. "We could clear," he muttered. "Not yet," Hale murmured. Maya's lens framed her father's profile, Hale's squared shoulders, the semicircle of faces. The ocean breathed behind them. A shout rose from the pier. A boy slid sideways in a darker channel, arms windmilling. Friends screamed. The lifeguard, halfway there, threw his board and sprinted. Ruiz plunged into the surf. Hale didn't move. He stared at David. "Don't try anything." "Someone's in trouble," David said. "Daddy." Jordan's voice cracked. Another wave shoved the boy along the rip. The vendor dropped his bell and ran, kicking off sandals. A surfer pivoted and paddled hard. Ruiz's hat vanished. Her stroke stayed clean. The lifeguard sliced the water. Amara took a half step toward the pier. Hale's palm flashed, stopping her at the shoulder. "Do not move. You're stopping a mother from helping," she said. "I'm stopping interference," Hale said. Maya raised her voice for the camera. Officer Hale is holding my mom while a child struggles. The semicircle tightened. We see you, someone called. Let the family be. An ATV buzzed off the boardwalk, skidding toward the pier with a rescue bag bouncing. Ruiz reached the boy, rolled him onto his back, and kicked sideways out of the pull. The surfer slid in, gave her the board, and together they ferried him toward white water where the lifeguard met them. Cheers built like thunder. Jordan sobbed into Amara's side. David kept his hands loose. Officer, he said evenly, your partner is in a rescue. Please return my license and end your stop so you can assist. I decide when this ends, Hale said. The mirrored lenses stayed blank. You're unusually calm for a guy under scrutiny. I'm modeling calm for my children, David said. Krasny rubbed his neck and looked toward the water. We're drawing heat. Let them film, Hale said. The lifeguard and Ruiz brought the boy into the shallows. He coughed and cried. Applause cracked across the beach. Ruiz waved to paramedics jogging the last yards. She straightened and scanned the shoreline. Her eyes found Hale, the still family, the ring of phones. She started toward them, dripping, radio hissing. Applause faded to murmurs. Attention swung back to the knot of tension. Hale adjusted his stance. Here's what happens next, he said quietly. You'll sit on the sand. Your wife and daughter will remain standing. I will run your name again. Respectfully, we are not required to sit, David said. You are if I give a lawful order, Hale snapped. What statute? David asked. Hale's teeth clicked. Krasny, take the kid to the blanket's edge. Krasny crouched to Jordan's level. Hey buddy, he said gently. Want to look at shells? Jordan clung to Amara. No, stay with your mother, David said. Maya, keep filming. Ruiz arrived, uniform dark to midnight. Hale, she said, lungs still burning. What are we doing? Running a stop, he answered. Based on what? Description. She took in the cooler, the umbrella, the family, the cameras. We're done, she said. Give the man his license. Hale didn't move. A thin cloud cooled the sand. His radio hissed. Units, altercation near Lot C. Backup requested. He thumbed the button but didn't reply. You hear that? Ruiz said. I hear it, Hale said. I decide priorities. You're making this worse. Maya's lens caught lines at Ruiz's eyes. Anger held. Krasny looked away. Ruiz exhaled once, waiting for Hale to move, eyes steady on his hands and face. Hale sighed, a sound like a latch dropping. He stepped toward David with the license pinched between two fingers, card just out of reach. Last chance to cooperate fully, he said softly. All the way. The beach seemed to hold its breath. A child laughed down shore. Waves whispered along the edge. Amara's hand found David's wrist. Jordan's fingers knotted the blanket. Maya's phone gleamed. Define cooperate, David said. Hale's voice cut through the hush. Cooperate means sit on the sand until I say otherwise. He dangled the license like bait. David didn't reach for it. Officer, you've searched our cooler twice, checked our IDs, and detained my family in front of dozens of witnesses. What do you need beyond what you already have? Maya steadied her phone. The digital clock in the corner ticked seconds. Amara's shoulders drew tight. Jordan sniffled into her side. Hale's mirrored glasses reflected every face. You're hiding something. I'm hiding sunscreen and sandwiches, David said, calm as steel. Nothing more. Ruiz shifted. Enough, she said. We've got a call at Lot C. We're supposed to go. You go, Hale replied. I'll finish here. Ruiz's jaw clenched. Then I'll report it later. A murmur spread through the semicircle of onlookers. Someone called, leave them alone. Another, they didn't do anything. Phones pointed like arrows. Hale ignored them. He stepped closer, close enough for David to see the tension at his mouth. Stand your wife up, she'll answer some questions too. Amara's voice cracked. You've asked everything. Return his ID and leave us. Ma'am, silence isn't helping, Hale said. It's helping my children not break apart, she snapped. Krasny cleared his throat. Hale, this isn't holding. It will, Hale said. The lifeguard returned from the pier, carrying the empty board. He slowed near the ring of people. What's going on here, he asked, loud enough for the crowd. Official business, Hale barked. Looks like harassment, the lifeguard said. His voice carried. Applause rose. Hale stiffened. Step back. The lifeguard planted his board in the sand like a stake. I've watched the whole thing. You've done more searching than saving. A cheer surged. Hale's jaw flexed. One more word, you'll be cited. Cited for watching you, the lifeguard said. Ruiz touched Hale's elbow. We need to move. Eyes are everywhere. He shook her off. His voice dropped. You're calm, visitor, he said to David. Too calm. That's training. David met the blank lenses. It's called protecting my children. Hale's nostrils flared. He pulled a small pad from his vest. Name again. You have my license, David said. Say it, Hale demanded. David Johnson, he replied evenly. Hale wrote slowly, letters dragging. Occupation? Father, David said. That all? That's all you need, David replied. Hale clicked his pen shut, slipped the pad into his pocket, and finally returned the license. But instead of stepping back, he leaned close and whispered just enough for David to hear. If I find out you're lying, you won't walk away smiling. David slid the license into his wallet. We're done, he said, voice steady. Not yet, Hale growled. He turned to Krasny. Bring the K9, we'll check the cooler again. Gasps rippled. Amara stiffened. No, you've checked it 3 times. Dogs don't lie, Hale said. He pressed his radio. K9 to Tower 2. Jordan whimpered. Maya whispered. Keep filming. Minutes stretched, surf pounded, a gull swooped low, shrieking, an ATV engine whined. A black and tan shepherd leapt down, handler guiding. The crowd parted like water. The dog's nose twitched, tail stiff. Cooler, Hale ordered. The handler hesitated. What's probable cause? Suspicion, Hale said. The handler frowned but led the dog forward. The shepherd circled, sniffed sandwiches, juice, towels, then it sat. Hale's grin widened. Hit. That's my kid's ham sandwich, Amara said. Dogs don't sit for ham, Hale replied. They do if you train them with food, the handler muttered. Hale ignored him. Family, step back. No, Amara said. She planted her feet. The crowd's voices rose, loud, angry. This is wrong. They're just a family. Maya's phone caught it all. Hale squaring up, Amara shielding Jordan, David breathing slow. Ruiz spoke low but firm. Hale, enough. You're turning this into a riot. Then let it riot, Hale hissed. I'll be right. The dog barked once, sharp. Sand sprayed under its paws. Jordan yelped and hid behind Amara. David's hands curled but stayed low. He counted the eyes, the lenses, the breaths. Officer, he said softly, you've crossed from duty to intimidation. Hale's grin thinned. Watch your mouth. I am, David said. So are they. He nodded toward the phones. The crowd pushed closer. Let them go. Stop abusing power. The handler tugged the dog back, uneasy. Ruiz raised her palms. Back up, everyone. Please. But the tide had turned. Voices grew louder. Cameras closer. Heat pressed like noon. Hale's radio crackled again. Altercation Lot C, escalating. Units now. He didn't answer. His eyes locked on David. You're coming with me. Amara gasped. Maya cried out. Jordan clutched her leg. David's shoulders squared. On what charge? You'll find out, Hale said. Ruiz stepped between them. No, this ends now. The air stilled. Even the gulls seemed to stop. The standoff burned in the sun. Ruiz planted herself between Hale and David, her soaked uniform clinging, eyes bright with anger. You've crossed the line, she said. You've searched, questioned, humiliated, and still you can't let go. Why? Hale's jaw ticked. He's hiding something. I know it. You know nothing, Ruiz snapped. You're chasing ghosts while a real call is blowing up at Lot C. The handler tugged the shepherd back, its claws raking the sand. Krasny shifted his weight nervously, eyes darting between the crowd and Hale. Amara pulled Jordan closer, her voice trembling. Please stop. He's just a father. He's not just anything, Hale muttered. The crowd surged. A surfer called, We've filmed everything. Your badge number's clear. Someone else shouted, Harassment. The noise built, drowning the steady hush of the tide. Maya stepped forward, phone raised. Officer Hale, you're on camera violating my family's rights. The world will see this. For the first time, Hale faltered. His grip shifted on his belt, fingers drumming against the holster. He turned his mirrored shades toward her. Put that phone down. I won't, Maya said. Her voice didn't shake. Applause erupted from the onlookers. A chant began. Let them go. Let them go. Hale's face reddened. All of you, back off. Ruiz raised her hands toward the crowd. Stay calm, please. We don't want this to turn violent. But Hale moved suddenly, hands snapping out toward Maya's phone. David's arm shot up, intercepting, blocking the grab. Gasps cut the air. Jordan whimpered. Don't touch my daughter, David said. Tone low, steady as stone. Hale's hand froze against his forearm. The mirrored lenses reflected David's eyes, calm but with an edge that made Hale blink. You think you're clever, Hale hissed. I think you're out of control, David replied. Ruiz stepped in hard. Enough, she barked. You put your hands on a child's phone in front of 50 witnesses. Do you want to end your career today? The handler shifted, murmuring to the shepherd. Krasny muttered, This is going sideways fast. Hale dropped his hand but didn't step back. His lips curled. Something's not right about you, he whispered to David. David said nothing. The crowd's chants filled the silence. Then sirens. Two more units screeched to a stop by the boardwalk. Officers spilled onto the sand, hands hovering near belts, eyes wide at the scene. A crowd, cameras, one family hemmed in by uniforms. A sergeant strode forward, stocky, eyes sharp. "Report," he barked. Hale snapped to attention. "Suspicious family, possible contraband." "Contraband," the sergeant cut in. His eyes swept over the cooler, the children clinging to their mother, the teenager with the phone, the father standing calm, the crowd shouting. "This looks like harassment." "It's not," Hale insisted. The dog alerted. The handler lifted his chin. "The dog sat for food. I told him that." The sergeant's gaze narrowed. "You're escalating in front of 100 witnesses, Officer Hale. Stand down." The chant rose louder. Phones lifted higher. The ocean hissed, relentless. Hale stiffened. "Sergeant, this man," the sergeant said, pointing at David, "is sitting peacefully with his family. Return his ID and step away. He could be dangerous." Hale pressed. The sergeant's voice hardened. "And you've made yourself look dangerous. Back off, Hale, now." For the first time, Hale hesitated. His shoulders twitched, pride wrestling with command. Ruiz's stare burned into him. Krosny kept his eyes down. The handler stroked the dog's neck, silent. Finally, Hale shoved the license into David's chest. "Fine," he spat, "but I'll remember this." David caught it calmly, slid it back into his wallet without a word. The sergeant turned to Amara. "Ma'am, I apologize. You and your children should never have been treated this way." Amara's lips trembled. "Then make sure it doesn't happen again." The crowd roared approval. Someone yelled, "Justice." Another, "Protect families, not abuse them." The sergeant raised his hands, quieting them. "Disperse, please. We've got this under control." Phones lowered slightly, though many still filmed. The tension eased, but only by inches. Hale stood rigid, fury simmering under his skin. His gaze stayed locked on David, something unsettled brewing behind the mirrored glass. David returned the stare, quiet, unshaken. A storm swirled in the air between them, invisible but heavy. The sergeant gave a curt nod to Ruiz. "Get them out of here, now." She touched David's arm lightly. "Sir, take your family a little further down the beach, away from this." David nodded. "We'll move." He gathered the cooler, folded the blanket with Amara, guided Jordan by the hand. Maya kept her phone steady, recording every step. The crowd parted, clapping, cheering them through like champions after battle. But Hale didn't move. His eyes stayed fixed, body taut as a bowstring, whispering words only he could hear. And David, though calm, carried a weight behind his silence. One truth waiting for the right moment to shatter everything. The Johnsons walked a stretch down the beach, trying to calm the children. Jordan clung to Amara's side, his small body trembling. Maya's camera was still running, though her hand shook. David knelt beside them, voice low, reassuring. "You're safe, stay close." But the crowd wasn't dispersing. Dozens lingered, angry at what they had seen, unwilling to let injustice vanish in the tide. The sergeant barked again at Hale. "Stand down, officer. This is over." Hale didn't move. His jaw was tight, fists balled. "He's not what he seems," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I can feel it. Something about him. Military, law enforcement. He's trained." Ruiz snapped. "Even if he was, it's none of your business. He's here with his family." The handler with the K9 looked uncomfortable. "Sarge, he's right about one thing. Man's calm under pressure. Most civilians would have blown up." The sergeant glared. "So what? Calm isn't a crime." But Hale wasn't finished. He stormed across the sand toward David, pointing a rigid finger. "You think you can just walk away? Tell me who you are." The crowd gasped. Phones rose again. "Leave him alone," voices shouted. "Haven't you done enough?" David stood slowly, guiding Amara and the kids behind him. He squared his shoulders, his calm suddenly carrying weight that froze Hale mid-stride. "I tried to avoid this," David said, voice steady but carrying across the beach. "For my children, for peace, but since you've pushed this far." He reached into his pocket, careful, deliberate, and pulled out a leather badge holder. He flipped it open, the gold shield gleaming in the sunlight. Gasps erupted. Cameras zoomed in. The badge caught every angle of light. "I am Special Agent David Johnson," he said, voice sharp now, ringing with authority. "Federal Bureau of Investigation." The beach went silent except for the crash of waves. Even the gulls seemed to pause. Amara's eyes brimmed with tears, half relief, half fury that he'd been forced to reveal it. Maya's phone trembled as she recorded, capturing the moment that would ripple far beyond Sunbreaker Beach. The sergeant's face drained of color. He snapped his head toward Hale. "You idiot." Hale's jaw dropped. His mirrored glasses couldn't hide the sudden sweat beating at his temple. He's lying." David held the badge higher. "You've detained a federal agent's family, without cause, On camera, in front of the public. The crowd exploded. Cheers, shouts, chants. Justice, justice rolled across the sand. The sergeant barked at Hale. Hand over your weapon, now. What? Hale sputtered. You're suspended, effective immediately. The sergeant roared. Ruiz, Krasny, escort him off this beach before the press gets here. Phones caught everything. The sergeant's fury, Ruiz's grim satisfaction, Hale's stunned silence. Krasny stepped forward reluctantly, unclipping Hale's duty belt. The canine handler turned away, ashamed. Hale shouted as they pulled him back. This isn't over. He tricked us. His words drowned beneath the chants of the crowd. David lowered the badge and tucked it away. He looked down at his children. Now you see why I stayed calm, he said softly. Maya's eyes were wide. Dad, you're FBI? I wanted you to have a normal day, David said, brushing hair from her face. Not a day about who I am, but some people don't give us that choice. Amara's hand slipped into his, squeezing tight. You protected us. You always do. The sergeant returned, chest heaving. He stopped in front of David. Agent Johnson, on behalf of this department I apologize. Hale will be dealt with. I swear it. David's eyes were cold now. Your apology isn't to me. It's to them. He gestured at his wife, his children, the families watching, and it's to every person who wonders if a beach day will end like this. The sergeant nodded, shame in his eyes. He turned toward the crowd. I'm sorry. This was not who we are meant to be. The chants softened. Phones stayed up, but now there was applause. Applause for David, for Amara, for the children who stood tall. David gathered his family under the umbrella. The ocean sparkled. The sky stretched wide. And though the sand beneath them felt heavier than before, the truth had been laid bare. Hale was gone. The badge had spoken, and the world had witnessed every second.